Welcome to the Breakthrough Advisor Podcast. In this podcast, we inspire advisors with ideas and pathways to break through barriers and build a thriving retirement income business. We will interview innovative technology developers, business leaders, and successful advisors, then help you organize and execute these ideas to move your business forward.
Hello, folks. My name is Jack Martin with InsureMark. I want to welcome you to the Breakthrough Advisor Podcast. This is where we bring together thought leaders from our industry and leading advisors to help you understand the opportunities and the processes and the mindset that it takes to really break through in your practice to the next level. Today, we've got Ed Slott. Most of you know Ed. He's been called the IRA help source by the Wall Street Journal, the best resource in the United States on IRAs and retirement taxes. And we couldn't be more excited to have him here today. Thanks for joining us, Ed.
Oh, great to be here with you and InsureMark.
Thank you very much. So here's the situation that we hear from our advisors. All right, this has been a pretty extraordinary year for their clients, and with everything that's been going on with the markets and inflation and so on, it probably has never been more important to be engaged with your clients before year end. There are just a lot of moving parts that, as an advisor, you can help people put together. There are a lot of opportunities and to get new business, but there are also huge opportunities for client loyalty. And in spite of all the stuff that's happened with the stock market and interest rates and inflation, Julie Littlechild's group out of Absolute Engagement says right now, the number one concern for affluent clients and prospects of financial advisors is tax. So that kind of plays right into your sweet spot. Ed, what do you see right now as the opportunities for growing business, the opportunities for helping consumers today, given the unique circumstances we have?
Well, I do lots of consumer programs to the clients and prospects. And no matter how polarized this country is, everybody hates taxes. I mean, if you want to get together with somebody, talk taxes, and especially people with large IRAs and 401ks, because most people know those funds have not yet been taxed, but they will be at some future date, probably at a higher rate and a higher balance. And they're looking for advisors that can help them with what I call the second half of the game, getting that money out. That's where the average advisor kind of stops. And it's been that way for years. The average financial advisor, yeah, they can make people money. But when it comes to taxes, it's what you keep that counts. If you can help a client keep more of their hard-earned money, you will have that client and their beneficiaries. That's your succession plan for life. And you hit on a good point there, Jack. Most advisors, it's the business that they're always prospecting for new clients. There's gold in your existing clients. You hit that right on the head. I still think 80% of your existing clients are prospects from the business you don't have from them, or the things you're not talking about, or the potential referrals that they know. And it all comes down to communication. And it's so critical, as you said, Jack, at the end of the year, Q4 right now, where people are starting to think about, the market's up and down and all of that, but that is short-term stuff. In the long run, they want a tax plan that can help them keep more of their hard-earned money. And there are things you can do. Like I said, it's not just the first half of the game. Since it's football season now, I'll use a football analogy. In football, there's a saying, the score at halftime is irrelevant. Give me the score at the end of the game, and then I'll tell you who won. Well, it's the same thing with retirement. Retirement has two halves, like a football game. The first half is what everybody's familiar with, and most advisors are. The building, the working, the saving, the sacrificing, the investing, to have something to protect. But the problem is most advisors and most clients don't even know. They figure, I got to halftime. They look at their account. They say, I've saved everything I'll ever need for retirement. They pat themselves on the back. They go in at halftime and they think they're done. Meanwhile, the IRS comes out. They're playing the third and fourth quarter. They're playing nobody. So they win. The average advisor thinks they've done the right job if they've got them to halftime knowing they've helped them accumulate what they need for retirement. But that's only half the game. The reason they played the first half is so they could take it out in retirement or pass on to beneficiaries. And that's where all the taxes hit. So advisors should be having conversations. I see 5 different areas where they should be having conversations right now. Number one, talk about the effects of the Secure Act on the estate plans. Most clients that have set up plans for, say, stretch IRAs, those aren't going to happen anymore. For the most part, those have gone away. So now's your chance to talk to clients, say, what is your current plan? And new clients and prospects, and see, what changes can we make? Look for alternative solutions. And 2 big things to talk about are Roth conversions and life insurance. Now, I don't even sell life insurance, but to me, that has moved up to the top of the list to replace the benefits the stretch IRA used to have, and to do a much better job of it, especially with high net worth clients who may have trusts as beneficiaries, and those IRA trusts probably won't work anymore. So the first item would be to address the Secure Act, identify the clients most affected. And that's easy to find. Look at the people that have the largest amount in IRAs and 401ks. They're going to take the biggest hit. That's why they're worried about it. Then look for alternatives. Item 2, Roth conversions. Item 3, life insurance, permanent life insurance, building cash value like a super Roth IRA. And this way you have more flexibility for beneficiary planning. And then item 4, QCDs. People forget about these things, qualified charitable distributions. Many clients are still making donations to charity that they get 0 tax benefit out of because the standard deduction is so high. If you have a client, again, identify not everybody qualifies, only IRAs, owners and beneficiaries who are 70 and a half years old, even though the RMD age is 72, it's 70 and a half and older, can actually get huge benefits for the money they're already giving to charity. I'm not saying give to charity to get a tax deduction. If I was saying that, give all your money away, you'll never pay taxes. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying clients, look at them, talk to them. It's all about communication. That's what always adds client value. And say, let me look at your tax return. Well, it looks like you couldn't even get a charitable deduction. How much did you give? Well, I gave $5,000 last year. Well, if you're over 70 and a half and maybe subject to RMDs that start at age 72, let's do a QCD where it's a direct transfer from the IRA to the charity. Now you can exclude that from income. That's better than a tax deduction. And their CPA will agree. And the 5th area is, of course, look at the estate and gift tax planning. We have these huge exemptions. Clients with large estates should be encouraged to start getting some of those funds out before these exemptions, they're scheduled to go away after 2025. You hit any one of those 5 areas, everybody's going to want to listen.
That's an excellent point. Hey, back to your halftime analogy real quick. A thought occurred to me, all right? And I imagine that there are a number of clients and prospects out there who are looking at their 401k and IRA statements and saying, oh my gosh, I may be at halftime, but my account is down. It's down 5%, 10%, 15%, who knows how much. And so does that downturn, I think, influences Roth conversions in a very positive way. I think I know the answer, but what do you think about that?
Well, it's hard to I get this question every day, especially, it's funny, I did a seminar 2 days ago, the day the market tanked on like 1,200 points. And, so all of those questions came up. And you can't really time a Roth conversion because you don't know. The market goes, down 1,000 points, so then it comes up 600 points by the time you get the order through. That's not really a good way to play it. What the better strategy is to let clients know that tax rates, at least I believe, and I think for most clients, are going to go up in the future. Or to put it another way, how many people think their tax rates are going to go down? It may happen for the next few years, but at some point, the whole country is living on a credit card deficit and debt levels. They're going to have to raise taxes at some point. So maybe the best strategy is more of a moderation. And this is where you talk to clients. You better be careful with Roth IRAs because Roth conversions are permanent. There's no backsies. You do a Roth conversion, you will owe the tax even if the financial situation changes later on. Now, that shouldn't deter anybody from converting, but it should encourage them to do some tax planning at the end of the year. Right now, we're getting into the point in the fourth quarter where we kind of have a good picture for most clients of what their income level is going to be. And this way you can help and talk with the CPAs, bring those people in. That just expands your exposure anyway to more people, gives you a wider footprint for possible referrals. CPAs like me like to have financial advisors concerned about tax planning. You don't get a lot of that. So talk to them. Where do you think your client's going? Maybe we can put in a 20, 30,000 a conversion, or maybe, again, you can't really time the market, but maybe moderation where you do a series of smaller annual conversions consistently over time to take down that building debt, that IRA. That's what an IRA is. Tell your clients this. I say this in every consumer seminar. Your IRA is an IOU to the IRS. You want to build in tax-free territory. So over time, take down that tax-infested, not invested, infested IRA and start building up over time in a Roth where that money grows tax-free for you for the rest of your life, and get it at today's rock bottom low rates. Tax rates are still on sale. So now's the time to it at a minimum. I'm not saying every client is a Roth candidate, but I believe every client and prospect is a candidate to have this conversation.
Good point. Great point. So as we wrap up, any final thoughts you want to give advisors listening to this podcast that would help them break
three
through?
steps. I'm all about taking action, and now's the time to do it. We're coming into the fourth quarter. I kind of gave you them, but I'll wrap it up. Here are the three steps. Identify, explain, and show. This has always worked for me. Identify the clients or prospects who may have the issues. I told you who they are. People with the largest amounts building in a tax-deferred IRA, a 401k. These people need a conversation. Put them on your list. So that's the first step. Who are you going to talk to? Identify. Then bring them in. Explain why, like some of the things I talked about. Explain why. Maybe their plan won't work anymore. Tell them you're concerned for them and the long term. Don't focus on the short term ups and downs of the market. That's short term stuff. Focus on the long term big picture. So explain the problem, why we're talking. And then third step, show them that you have solutions. I gave you a few here: Roth IRAs, life insurance. You may even want to look, again, I don't sell annuities, but look at those things for guaranteed income. People are afraid coming into the market, this crazy market in retirement. Younger people don't have as much of a problem. They have more time to recover from a crash. They're all into the Bitcoin and the crypto and they lose their money. Yeah, but the difference is they have parents that can bail them out. Your clients don't. Their parents are dead already. So it's up to them. So you can straighten them out and maybe start cushioning, have a buffer, guardrails to protect against downturns, downside risk, and maybe look at some locking in some annuities and guaranteed income so they can sleep at night. So identify, explain, and show solutions, and you will get new business. People want to hear from you.
Awesome. Hey, Ed, thank you. As always, power packed, lots of action steps. We really appreciate it. Hey, folks listening, if you'd like more information about trainings that Ed has done for our advisors, if you want to learn more about tools for Secure Act planning, Roth conversions, and so on, feel free to contact one of our advisor development consultants at InsureMark. You can connect with them by surfing to insuremark.net or click on one of the links on this page where you found this podcast. Ed, thank you very much for joining us today on the Breakthrough Advisor podcast. We look forward to seeing you again shortly.
All right. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you for listening to the Breakthrough Advisor podcast. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of InsureMark. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only.